Hello, my name is Jesse Mecham with another episode of the Jesse Mecham Show, and I'm here each week to obsess out loud about your spending, purposefully, saving aspirationally, and giving, oh so joyfully. It all comes down to just one tiny little question, and today I will talk about a tiny little 9-year-old girl and this question that we were asking and answering for her. I set up my daughter Faye, her budget, I don't know, months and months ago. We usually do it when they're 8. With her, we did it a little later. I'm not sure why, but she's been starting to earn some money. So back in the middle of the summer, we did the whole exercise, and you guys know how I like to do it. I like to line up all the categories and just pepper them like, you want this, you want this, you want this. And then they start to feel the trade-offs, and you start to see the understanding happen in their eyes. We have them tithe, we have them save, and then everything else is basically what you and I, we adults, would call fun money. But it's 9-year-old categories. My favorite category for her with a skull crossbones emoji is the poison category, and that is for her snacks at the gas station. And she got that from me. So she had a big ticket item on there from months ago, an electric bike. And man, had this little girl been talking about it a lot. She had shown me the model she was going to buy. She had price shopped it a little bit. She knew how much shipping and taxes was going to be. She knew exactly how much the entire purchase would take. We set it up in YNAB. We set up a category. And I just said, okay, Faye, if you put away this much each month by this day, I can't remember the day, you'll have enough for the electric bike. And she was just kind of like, really? Whoa. Something like that's out of her reach. And don't we all feel that way about some purchases, and then doesn't wind up kind of surprise us? Don't we kind of surprise ourselves by dutifully just setting aside? Anyway, that was the plan, and she was pretty surprised that that plan would happen. It was as good as done, and we funded it. She was excited to see that little bar in the software grow. It's like, hey, this is how much you've got, and we're just going to keep doing this every month. She was very excited she didn't have to, quote unquote, use Christmas for it. So she's doing that, and then she's making some money. And then we didn't touch her plan for a while, a couple months, actually. And just yesterday, she comes up to me, and she says, Dad, can we do YNAB? And, I mean, does that not warm your heart? It certainly warmed mine. So we pulled it open, and we did the whole thing. We hadn't been in it for a while, right? This girl has no transactions. We don't have to worry about things. She basically just had money deposited from her work, and that was essentially it. It took all of about 7 minutes for me just to get it all up to date with the bank. And she had some money in there. She had some money from those paychecks. So I said, okay, Faye, we walk through the tithing exercise. She gets that. We walk through how much we want her to save. She gets that. Saving is for college, a church mission, things like that. Everything else is hers. And she looks at that, and we're starting to assign money. She wanted a new category called clothing, putting money into her gum category and other 9-year-old categories. When we get to the electric bike, I was like, hey, Faye, we can fund this, and we'll get it right on target. We'll be back. We'll be on track. You'll still be right ready to go with your bike. And she surprised me. She said, I don't think I want the bike. I was like, what? I kind of wanted her to want the bike. And she just said, I don't really want it anymore. I like my scooter. It goes fast enough. It gets around. I mean, she's looking for something to basically get around the neighborhood. And kids these days do not use their own muscle power to get anywhere. It's all electric, right? So she's following that trend and recognized that the scooter would do the job. And so she had some money already in the electric bike category, and she had money that she would have put in there. And we freed it up, and it went to other things. Just filled up those categories that a 9-year-old girl would want. This was the interesting part for me. Had Faye been an adult, like you or I, and had she wanted that electric bike, in that moment, I don't remember what it cost y'all. It was $600. I mean, it was a big ticket item for a 9-year-old, for sure. And nothing to sneeze at for anybody, honestly. But had she been an adult, she would have just borrowed the money and bought it. She didn't have the money right now, but it's only $600, $700. Those are easy payments. Nothing that you can't handle by paying it off next month or maybe in a couple months. So yeah, just buy it. And then what would have happened? Maybe she would have loved the scooter, or the bike, but based on Faye's take on the scooter and the bike, she realized it was a little redundant. So maybe she would have had that loan and then also had the bike and not really wanted it anymore. Yet she still has the loan. And sometimes people will pick apart debt and they'll say, hey, the interest, it's so expensive. It is. There's a morality to it that some people attach to it. Yeah, if you subscribe to that, then that's there too. There's some heaviness to it, some shame to it a lot of the time. But here's the real kicker for me. Debt allows you to spend money you don't yet have, only to then find out later that spending is misaligned. And so at the end of the day, so much money worry as it relates to your spending comes from just spending not being what you really want it to be, just misaligned from your priorities, from your wants, from your needs, from what you really care about, from you. And if money is you, and then money going off to do things isn't you, you have misalignment. And debt allows you to just kind of get caught up in the moment and say, oh, I want that thing for whatever, peer pressure, emotional issues, rough day at work. But what ends up happening is you get the loan and you can't undo it. And then you have the item and you have this dissonance of, man, I don't really want that thing anymore. And here I am still making payments on it. Or maybe you try and justify it to try and get rid of a little bit of the dissonance by saying, oh, I'll just use that thing like crazy. I mean, sure. But you're still just trying to get out of the misalignment by then misaligning your actions later to try and prove to yourself that it wasn't as misaligned as you might have thought. But it was. And now you're changing your behavior to try and kind of backfill and try and feel a little better about it instead of saving up for it and buying it later, allowing a little bit of time to kind of coalesce around the emotions, the spending, the money, new information, whatever it may be, but it all kind of coalesces to be like, hey, this really is aligned, or whoa, this really isn't. But saving up for a thing doesn't just give you the money so you avoid interest payments. That's true. Saving up for a thing also gives you more time to think and ponder and press that desire against the rest of your desires to see what really comes out. That's just one more reason that delay instead of debt is the way to go. And Faye taught me that yesterday. So until next time, remember, it's just asking yourself that question. What do you want this money to do? And you can't answer that question well if the money you're talking about is borrowed.